Did you know that you spend more time on the toilet than exercising? And there are more than 214 million Netflix versions out there. But wait, there's more. There are over 8 billion daily Google searches and more than 100 billion WhatsApp messages sent per day. And every time you're watching a video, you're generating data. And every search or like you make is also generating data. So every time you're vibing to your favorite Finnish girl, swinging the league, you're generating data. So everything we do on our electronic devices is creating data which is getting tracked and collected. That's why data engineers are among the most in-demand professions right now. And companies all over the world are constantly collecting and analyzing this data, making decisions and a huge amount of money based on that. But you already know that, do you? However, does this really affect our daily lives? Does this affect the tech job market? Is data the real new oil? And the answer to each of these questions is yes, and that's what we are going to talk about today. Okay, so when you Google data engineering, you get a variety of hard to understand explanations, especially for beginners. That's why I try to keep it very simple for you. And from my point of view, I would say data engineers are software engineers with focus on making data available. And how do? They use Python and SQL to get data from any web page or any device and put it into a database. So that's basically what a data engineer is doing. And if you want it a little bit more technically, data engineers are responsible for designing, developing, and maintaining those data platforms. And those could be data warehouses, data pipelines, or just the data infrastructure itself. And without having any data at all, even the greatest data scientists can't do anything. And that's why data engineers are like the heroes who tackle the influx of structured and unstructured data in the World Wide Web. And they bring the Lego blocks so the team can build Lego castles. And without Lego blocks, after all, you can't build a Lego castle, right? So if you like software engineering, automating processes, coding in Python, and are excited every time you hear data, I have great news for you. That's almost everything you need to become a data engineer. A digital gold digger.
Supply and demand.
So according to the tech job report published by DICE in 2020, the data engineer was the fastest growing tech role in 2019 with a 50% year-over-year growth in the number of open job positions. So I think it's pretty safe to say that being a data engineer in 2021 is pretty cool in the sense of having rare qualities which are in high demand because data never sleeps.
Big data.
Every day, billions of bytes are created and it doesn't stop. So while you watch this video, probably 200,000 new Instagram posts and almost 2 million tweets have been posted. And Business Insider reports that there will be more than 64 billion IoT devices by 2025. Can you imagine that? And with this growth comes a lot more data from a lot more sources like cars, your fridge, or just your chair, because we want to stay healthy, so you get notifications to your smartwatch, which also is data. So you get a reminder that you have to change your position maybe? I don't know. But as you can see, there's a lot of room for data, and that requires a lot more data engineers who can effectively process and channel that big data. Supply and demand, just think about it. Anyways, more and more companies invest in their internal data analytics. That means that they spend time or figure out people who analyze the data for their own companies. That means that they understand there are crucial actionable insights from data which could push their business forward. I mean, just look at the FANG companies. Sorry. MANG. Meta, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. What do they have in common? Yes, they give
free Starbucks coffee, and of course, free bananas.
But they also are damn huge and make a lot of money based on what? Exactly, customer data about you. They take your data and create products on that. For example, did you know that Google's key revenue driver are ads? And they make at least 80% of their revenue just through ads. And in case you forgot, this video right here on this platform, it's also from Google, because if you remember, Google acquired YouTube in 2016 for $1.650 billion. Just think about it, like 15 years ago. And also, we don't even need to start talking about your favorite hangout area, Netflix. Netflix is a data machine itself. The customer retention rate increases every single year because they take advantage of the data you give them by watching their movies. They save up to $1 billion per year thanks to customer retention. How amazing is that? So we go on Netflix and provide the fuel to analyze us, and the best thing is we pay them. How smart is that? Let me give you some examples like the trailers and thumbnails on Netflix. Like, just ask your friends or family members to give you a screenshot of their Netflix page. And if you have the same movies, you will see that the trailers and the thumbnails probably will be different of the same movie, because Netflix personalized the thumbnails and trailers based on what you watched before. So let's say your mother watched a lot of movies with women and children because she likes those family movies. So all those other thumbnails, let's say from Squid Game, it will show a different thumbnail to her because that's what attracts her more than for you, for example. If you watched a lot of Marvel movies, you probably will be shown some kind of action thumbnail with a gun or something, and also the trailer. You see, there's a lot of things to do for Netflix just to create a personalized experience for you. So I hope I could give you some insights about data and how it actually works, because even if you create all those data, you have to collect them, and that's why data engineering is so cool.
テックスタック
Python and SQL, and if you're into big data, you need to learn Java and Scala as well. But let's stick to the basics, and it's just Python and SQL right now. And as a data engineer, you mainly use Python, and I think I don't need to tell you how
Easy, I know how
amazing
to do
Python
this.
is. I feel like Python is like a Swiss Army knife, and it's the superstar among programming languages, very popular, as you can see here, and it has a huge community, and it's very well documented. Even I understand them. And last but not least, it's super intuitive and easy to learn, even without a technical background. This is the number one reason why everyone can become a data engineer. You just need Python. And just look at that. This is how you print "Don't forget to subscribe" in Python, okay? And this is how you do it in Java. What the heck is that? Besides that, you will come across so many other tech skills like shell scripting, setting up Docker containers, cloud computing, data APIs, web scraping, and building scalable databases using SQL. But the most exciting thing is that you will use so many different packages which are provided from the community, and it doesn't matter what you want to do, it probably already has been done. That's why it's so amazing and so simple to use Python. And the best part of data engineering is that your skills can be applied on lots of fields. For example, if you enjoy biology, you may love collecting data for significant biotech projects. And if you are into neuroscience, genetics, robotics, all that and much more, it doesn't matter. You can apply data analysis to every project and instantly make it more successful. And every field needs people to collect this data. I mean, can you imagine a grocery chain analyzing hundreds of billions of lines of receipts 40 years ago? Can you imagine someone analyzing millions of blood tests or x-rays and then finding dependencies in the results? Now, just by using Python, no Java, nothing else, just Python, you could do that. Isn't that amazing? So even if you decide switching your role, you will have such an amazing skill set and a high intersection with other engineering jobs. Because all the skills you learn, it's not only usable in the data engineering or data science field. Even if you work as a full stack or backend engineer, you probably come across the same tech stack. And just to give you an idea, this overview visualizes just how much there is to do in the world of data engineering pretty well, I think. But as I already mentioned in my previous video, a data engineer doesn't have to know all those big data tools. It depends on the company and their needs.
Your main tasks
So your main task is to get data from A to B. And the challenge is to find the right tool in the endless sea of engineering instruments for the right step, building scalable data systems or platforms. And that makes data engineering super fun, exciting, and challenging. You never know what kind of data you will have to scrape or if any API even exists. And that's when the real fun starts, actually. So I think it's easy to build a simple data pipeline to get some data from the internet to your PC. So if you ever tried to scrape any data from a web page using the modules or packages Request and Beautiful Soup, you know how easy that actually can be. But the real challenge then starts when you have to build a scalable, maintainable, reliable, and deployable distributed system which transfers millions of gigabytes of data every day, which involves monitoring and a logging system, visualization, and error handling, for example. So I hope this gives you some kind of rough idea what you actually do as a data engineer.
Some money
So the first thing you should know is that the salary in Germany depends on the company itself. So the size, the state the company is in. And what I can say is that I looked up a couple of companies and I created a small overview of data engineering levels for you. And as you can see, the junior engineer can expect something between 45k and 60k. And the mid-level lives between 50k and 90k. And normally you can expect 80 to 100k plus salary if you have an amazing portfolio and a working history of at least 3 years. And in Germany, the average salary for a data engineer is around 62k. There's a platform called Glassdoor, and if you don't know it, it's just a platform where you can write a report about the company or just say how much you earned in a specific role. Then it unlocks some kind of salary insights for you, and they report that data engineers as of April 2021 make an average of 119k in the States. And actually, you can take this rule that is always the half of the salary in the States compared to Germany. So as you can see, it's almost the half of the average what I just mentioned before. And if you dare to look at Netflix as well, you can see the salary goes up to 250,000, 250,000. Also, it's no surprise as to why. Data engineering skills like Python, SQL, and the shell regularly rank among the highest paying skills in the Stack Overflow's developer surveys. And as you can see, Python and SQL rank pretty high as the third and fourth commonly used programming languages. So if English is the language of business, I can assure you that Python and SQL are the languages of data, for sure. But that's not the reason why I'm so excited. What really makes me go crazy is the focus on automation skills and cloud computing as a data engineer. As a data engineer, you always try to find the most efficient and effective way to dig out the data. And because of that, you sharpen those automation skills, writing all those scripts and deploy workflows on the cloud, which saves so much time, not only for you, but also for the company. And that's what makes everything so cool for me. At the end, you always and also can build your own data products, starting your own side hustles in any market, because every company needs to know what their customers are looking for, right? Supply and demand, again, it's always the same. Imagine you build an algorithm or some system which scrapes some very hard to get or very interesting data for a company who needs that and sell it to them. That's how you make money. And that's why data is considered as today's digital gold, because companies pay a huge amount of money for data. That's why I want you to consider becoming a badass data engineer and change the world. Peace.